Right, I just recorded this full video and I didn't even press record. So, perspicaciousness, perspicacity probably is the right way to say that. I'm going to explain why perspicacity is so important and a tool you can use to accelerate your perspicacity and accelerate your progress in life and why it's so important. So, perspicacious, I've got the definition up here on screen, is having a ready insight into and understanding of things. So this comes from what? Education, simple awareness of life, not being distracted by stupid things like social media, bullshit from the news, all this crap that just wastes your brain into a mush of toxic shite. And to use perspicacity correctly, you need to educate yourself regularly and every day. If you go a day without learning anything, you're fucking stupid. Honestly, you're wasting time. If you have a full day in your life where you don't learn a single thing, you're already losing. Life is a competition, especially for men. Becoming better in life secures the things you really want: the best woman, the best place to live, the best standard of living that you can possibly attain. If you don't believe me, just wait 10 years and you'll find out when you're fucking losing and you're living in the same shit place with the same people around you in the same shit area, buying the same shit food from the same shit supermarket round the corner. And then you'll probably be hit with this fucking midlife crisis. I'll never have a midlife crisis because I'm too perspicacious now for that. This last year has been important. I'm extremely grateful for it, but I've been way too slow. I don't think quick enough. I haven't been acting quick enough. I've been putting things off. And yeah, that's a lot of that's come down to scenarios changing, things moving around a lot. And my life has kind of turned around quite a lot. I live on my own now. I pay rent, I pay bills, I cook for myself, I clean for myself. I do all these things, and it's something I had to learn and something I had to go through. But the issue with why it took so long, and for some people this takes 5-10 years, but it's taken me 5-6 months to get to this place where I realise now how to act in life and how to actually get what I want. And it's by being perspicacious. And I'll give an example of times where I've sat, not so much here, but I remember when I was like 18, 19, maybe even 17, sitting at home and watching some random movie that I've probably seen 10 times over already, and I'm sitting there anxious as fuck and I have no idea why. So I pause the TV and I sit there for 5-10 minutes and think, what the fuck's going on? Why am I so anxious? I just think that through in my head. I run that over. I run my last few weeks, my last few months over in my head, and I figure out what it is that I was anxious about. It's because I've been putting something off. I've been putting this off. An example recently, which is, to be honest, my anxiety is pretty mellow at the moment. I've not really felt much anxiety in the last few months, but it's the fact that, like, I'm 21, so in Edinburgh there's a thing where you can get free bus travel for if you're under 22, but I procrastinated and put off applying for this, which could save me about £50 a month. And listen, that might not sound like a lot, but to me £50 is a decent sum of money. I can do a lot with £50, and that sounds stupid, but that's just the reality of where I am at the moment. And I've finally done that today, and I've kind of, over the last sort of 2 weeks, I've been realizing how to, like, being perspicacious isn't like, you don't necessarily need to use the tool, but it just accelerates your progress. But having that allows you to make steps forward much quicker and to not be distracted. And it's something I've actually used for quite a few years, in terms of, like, if I'm mindlessly scrolling social media, I'll just stop while I'm like doing that and I'll think, what the fuck am I doing? I'm literally just being like everyone else. How am I expected? I'm going to expect myself to rise above the rest of the world in rugby, in finances, or in just life in general if I'm doing exactly the same as other people. It doesn't work like that. And this last month, because I'm in a city, I always get this sort of feeling of FOMO, like I'm missing out on something, which I probably am missing out on something, but that something isn't normally going to be that great. And for me, if I don't focus on what fulfills me in life, if that's not what's driving me and waking me up every day, I just get nervous and anxious and depressed, and I just go into holes, and I just don't speak to anyone. I don't speak to my family for weeks. My close friends don't hear from me. And it's happened in a few months, and for me that was way too slow, and I'm going to fix that going forward. I've learned that lesson now. I'm perspicacious too. I'm aware of that because I've educated myself so much on my mental health, on and how to live life properly, and as a man, how to become a man. And by the way, if you want to learn how to become a man, read this book, The Way of the Superior Man by Deida. I'll put a link to it in the description. I'll just write that down here so I don't forget. And I'm gonna mention the tool now because it's long enough into the video. Meditation. I used the app Waking Up, and I'll put a link to that as well. Listen, like, you don't necessarily need to meditate, but for me, I think you're better off if you do. The whole idea of meditation is almost like a miniature dopamine detox, where you strip your brain of having this constant stimulation, and you're just focused on what you're doing right now. You're sitting, you're breathing, you're feeling every sensation in your body, you're hearing every sound in the world. It almost makes you feel a lot smaller, which is good. I always find that positive. Another thing that's good for that is sitting, if you're ever on a clear night and you sit and look at the stars and you kind of see the enormity of the globe and how small you are in it, makes you realize that you are nothing and you need to fucking work to get to something. And it'll never change. The world's always going to be bigger than you. But why don't you want to be something in the world? You can't just sit there and hope that life's going to go well and live a mundane life. That might be fine for some people who are not perspicacious and not aware of where they could be and what they could be doing. But for me, I know what I could be doing, and I need to be doing that. So what I do is I combine the meditation, and I use that to be more aware of my day-to-day interactions. So now when someone's speaking to me, I can tell whether they're being genuine or whether they're just trying to manipulate me, or they're trying to be friends, or if they've got issues themselves. I can see all of this happening clear as fucking day, what's happening in my life. Every single sentence, every single conversation, every word that comes out of someone's mouth, comes out of my mouth, I can tell what's going on in that conversation. I don't need to sit and reflect on it. I know what's going on. Because now when you're able to do that, and when you're able to catch yourself before you're about to masturbate again, before you're about to go out drinking again, before you're about to swipe on Tinder again, before you're about to scroll Instagram, scroll TikTok for hours and waste away your life, you can think, nah, that's not it. I can do something good with this time. I've got 2 hours free here. What can I do in 2 hours to make my life a better situation? You need to have that attitude in life. And that's why being perspicacious teamed with meditation can allow you to make progress quicker, because you're more aware of what's going on around you. You're educating yourself all the time, so you know what is happening when people are trying to manipulate you or take advantage of you. You know when you're putting something into your body, what it's going to do to your body, whether you believe it or not. For me, something that I believe is, I think pizzas are great for muscle mass and building something. They've got carbs, they've got protein, they've got fat, and it might not be the cleanest of food, but for me that works. I believe that pizzas nourish me well, and I believe that is something I've used for many years, and it's worked for me. I've been really lean because I've been eating pizzas. I've been really strong because I've been eating pizzas. So why is everyone telling me that pizza is bad? Think for yourself, be aware, know what happens to your body when you do certain things. And that takes time to figure this out. So if you're only 16, 17, 18, and you're thinking, how the fuck am I supposed to get to there? Just be perspicacious. Think about everything you're doing. How is this impacting what I do? How do I feel after this? How do I believe that? Why do I believe that? Who says that, and why do I believe them, and why do I not believe them? Are they right, or are they wrong? Or are they both wrong, and what I think is right? Because it works for me, and in my philosophy, this is how to go forward in life. Now, you can't get that if you're not aware of every single action you're doing. You have to be aware of why I'm sitting on this seat, why I've got my laptop in front of me, why I've got the pen out, why I've got the notebook here, why my phone's set up there, why I've got the microphone on, why I've got this juice next to me, why I've got this nicotine pouches on me, why I've got this empty tub of electrolytes sitting here? Why my hat's sitting there? Everything, as insignificant as it seems, if you're not aware of everything, and you don't care about everything that happens and everything that you do, then you're not going to reach your potential. Your potential is the best. Everyone's got a potential to be the greatest, but nobody uses it. They're subdued by what social media conditions you to think, what the matrix, if you will, wants you to think, what the government wants you to think. They want you to think you're trapped and this is how to live life. They want you to go to school, they want you to go to uni and then to get a job that you maybe make a few progressions in, but you don't leave because now you've got a kid, now you've got a mortgage, now you're in debt. They want you to be trapped. They don't want you to think for yourself, create your own philosophy. They don't want to move you forward. That's what happened to Socrates. He got exiled because he thought for himself. He thought differently from everyone else, and it scared the fuck out of them. Be aware. Use perspicacity and meditation team together to accelerate your progress out of the matrix and to be able to do, say, and think whatever you want. Use it for good, of course. That's what being a human is about. The inherent purpose of a human being is to do good for other human beings. We're a tribal animal. We need to be better individually in order to be better collectively and have this place a nice place to live in. But if you don't do it, somebody else is also not going to do it, and somebody else will do it. And then that's two people that haven't done anything about it, one person that have. Majority rules. That's what happens now. Majority rules. So if you don't want to live in a shit life, you fucking need to be perspicacious, and you need to meditate, and you need to get better, and you need to work on everything in your life. Every small detail you need to cultivate to be great. And if you think that's too much fucking pressure, well, fucking stay where you are then. Don't do anything about it. If you think the pressure is fun, you think it's fun, you want to move forward towards that greater life, do it, and you'll be fucking rewarded infinitely. And that's what I'm so excited for in these next few months, these next few years, decades. I cannot wait to live the best possible life ever. I'll see you in the next video.